The surgeon during the surgery was suddenly taken aback by the patient. He's actually in the patient's head, found something that should never have existed.
It's an egg.
Especially when cutting crawled out of a fat, juicy little cutie. Just now, woman's arm burns come to the hospital to deal with it, but those vain footsteps. But it instantly aroused the vigilance of the doctor.
Intoxicate. Slight confusion.
For the safety of patients, the doctor can only leave the woman to do some tests. However, in the face of the doctor's inquiry, women don't even know who the current president is, and she doesn't know what's going on lately. Always have nightmares, dreaming of a lot of bugs surrounding her. Don't want the next second. The woman suddenly twitched, finally settled down, quickly sent the woman into the resonance chair. Only then did everyone realize, in a woman's head, it was a tumor the size of a glass bead between the axillary fluid and the cerebellum. Surgery is necessary to determine the nature of the tumor. However, when the doctor opened a woman's head, but was surprised to find the tumor feels smooth.
It's encapsulated.
Can't be removed as the tumor is removed. Surprising indeed. The so-called tumor turned out to be an egg. Then the doctor gave a gentle stroke. Only then did everyone determine that it was a parasite. Turns out the woman is a chef. Whether food is ripe or not depends on the length of the mouth. Inevitably eat undercooked pork and infected with parasites. But I believe for the sake of the little cutie woman's life, I may not dare to try undercooked pork again. The woman is pregnant with twins, but the husband on the side has a solemn face. According to the ultrasound display, one of the fetuses is much larger than the other, but it was so hard for him to be a doctor. Wife is pregnant with identical twins, but then the heartbeat of the fetuses makes women completely unable to sit still.
Their hearts don't sound the same. They're identical. Their hearts should be identical.
Soon the husband called in a specialist in obstetrics and gynecology. Only then did everyone understand. It is true that the child is an egg, but he has something called twin transfusion syndrome. The disease only occurs in identical twins, and the simple answer is this. Brothers share a placenta, but for some reason, the placenta is still the blood vessel that should supply blood to the younger brother, but mistakenly connected to my brother. Although my brother has developed faster as a result, can be tremendous pressure. It can easily cause my brother's heart failure. At the same time, brother on the other side, but the heart doesn't get enough blood. Risk of stopping development. The immediate priority is to use lasers to penetrate deep into the placenta, cut the blood vessels connecting the fetuses, but it is desperate, even as an authority on obstetrics and gynecology. Doing such a complicated surgery, the mortality rate of younger brothers is as high as 80%. Even the strong brother, the mortality rate has also reached 50%. Worse, if you don't operate immediately, all three are in danger. However, just as the husband hesitated, the wife in the room had her blood pressure drop, breathing difficulties. Doctor judgment, woman develops maternal mirror reaction syndrome. Start mirroring the child's body systems. Surgery must be performed immediately. It cuts the developing placenta, attracted a crowd of interns. After the surgeon injected lidocaine, skilled catheterization, with the insertion of the fetal mirror, woman sees the children up close for the first time. Then the doctor inserted the laser rod, ready to start burning blood vessels, but I didn't want the first knife to cause massive bleeding. Red blood fills the screen. I can't see what's inside at all. Everyone's heart is in their throat. The doctor ordered the assistant to bring the sodium lactate drainer solution, quickly injected into a woman's uterus as the medicine initializes. Finally, the surgical vision became clear.
Ablating the remaining blood vessels.
Under the anxious gaze of everyone, the surgeon was relieved, and he successfully completed the surgery. My brother's heartbeat is finally like my brother's. Get strong. Everyone cheered in unison.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Wow.
Nothing beats saving lives. More enjoyable, but it's different from the happiness here. In the operating room on the other side, the surgeon actually removed the patient's head, removed a pebble-sized egg. The doctor took the hammer and tapped it lightly. Instantly, the patient's legs bulged into a bag the size of a steamed bun. Doctors are really desperate. The man has been hospitalized for 3 days, but until now, doctors can't figure out what's wrong with the man. The man was admitted to the hospital with a high fever 3 days ago, but now it's starting to twitch. What to do? What to do? Just then, the man suddenly knocked the drink out of his girlfriend's hand. The founding of the country understood everything in an instant.
He's afraid of it.
Hydrophobia.
Bryce, we have to test you for rabies.
Soon the inspection results confirm their conjecture, but a doctor, lifetime, the probability of experiencing a rabies attack is 1 in 325 million. The mortality rate is as high as 99.9%. The patient is so young, an invisible pressure enveloped everyone. The immediate priority is to find the location where the man was bitten. Inject the serum to detoxify quickly, but the man insists he has not been bitten. At this time, the assistant on the side recalled, the man said he went camping with his girlfriend last week.
Could have been bitten by a bat and never noticed.
Sure enough, the third brother is on the man's calf. Bite marks were found. Although the first time, he injected the man with a large amount of antidote, but it was too late to find out. The man has missed the best opportunity for treatment. The virus has invaded the man's nerve center.
This virus is a terrible way to die.
Urgent is to find a way, sending antiviral drugs to the man's nerve center. How to break through the blood-brain barrier is a problem. Critical moment. The third brother thought of it. I recently read an article on fighting cancer. Mannitol can easily break through the blood-brain barrier. Helps the drug take effect. In order to maximize the effectiveness of the drug, Dango requires men to stay awake at all times. Even send the appearance of the doctor to take charge. Talk to men all night. I don't want men to still lose consciousness. And there was papilloedema. With increased intracranial pressure, there is really no way. Everyone can't only choose to open the man's skull to decompress. It's also good to find out in time. The man's intracranial pressure is quickly brought under control. Finally, after a long night, man's indicators are on the rise. The hardest time is over. Soon the man woke up. There are indications that two people's treatment for rabies is very effective. Here, the Dragon Army advises you. Go out to play must be well protected. If you are bitten by a small animal, you must seek medical attention in time. The girl just wants to come to the hospital for treatment. I didn't want to be betrayed into a small dark room by the doctor. Tell her to take off her clothes until the girl reviews the special tattoo on her shoulder. The doctors confirmed what they had in mind. But then, everyone's heart is occupied by anger. It was just now. A man brings a girl to the hospital. Said the girl's stomach hurts, but I just want to prescribe some painkillers. The abnormality of the two immediately attracted Jiao Mei's attention. The girl looks like she's 17 or 18 years old, but the profile says 23 years old. And no matter what Jiao Mei asks, it's always the man on the side who answers for the girl. And what's even more puzzling is that the girl has clearly been diagnosed with Ling Bi, but this man who claims to be the girl's boyfriend. But I don't seem to be afraid. Jiao Mei realized the man in front of you is likely to be a human trafficker. Soon Jiao Mei called to Zhang Guo. I told him the idea. Let Zhang Guo think of a way. Separate the two first. Zhang Guo proposes to check man, but was rejected by the man.
No, you ain't treating me, okay?
Said to take the girl away. There is no way to build a country, only on the grounds that complications may cause sudden death. As for another examination of the girl, seeing the condition so critical, the girl finally opened her mouth.
I don't want to die.
However, the man offered to follow along to check. Jiang Guo says hospitals have regulations. Gynecological examination is inconvenient for men to enter. This barely separated the two temporarily. But when the girl learns it's not a test, the whole person seemed very resistant. Anxiety. There's no man watching. Under the repeated guidance of Jiao Mei, the girl finally let go of her defense. Tell everything. It turns out that she is only 16 years old at this moment. Left home 6 months ago because of rebellion. I don't want to meet the outside world on the internet. The man has no choice but to become a lost woman. Reduced to a tool for men to make money. She also thought about running away, but she doesn't know anyone here. Men are always threatening her. Once you tell someone, will kill her whole family as soon as possible. Fortunately, she met the pioneers, founding a nation without fear of the sky and the earth. I immediately decided to go to the security guard. I don't want to just go out. I met a man who came to find someone. Without saying a word, come up and do it. Although Jiang Guo is now just a doctor, but there are also conscripts who have been on the battlefield. How can you take such a third-rate thing seriously? 1 punch, 2 punches, 3 punches, and soon the man was stunned. For this gong who bullies women, Jiang Guo would not show mercy at all. Very soon, the security guard who arrived at the news control of the man took him to the police station. The girl is finally safe under the communication of Jiao Mei. Successfully helped the girl contact the social worker. The next few days, let the girl take care of her body first. Soon the girl's mother came over. Ma'am. Once upon a time, the girl thought she would never see her relatives in her life. They were all raised by their mother and father. Why can't some people treat others as human beings? Their children are only afraid of injections. I actually took advantage of my mother's shopping time to hide in the consultation room. No, just in time for the gas leak. Although the boy was treated immediately, but the doctor was surprised to find the boy at the moment can't move except for his eyes and mouth. He's unconscious from the neck down. It is speculated that the boy may have injured the cervical spine. But when the test results come out, everyone frowns in place. Court revealed a dislocated occipital neck in the boy. The legendary internal beheading, the tremendous impact of the explosion, separated the boy's spine from the base of his skull. And what's even more desperate is, no one has ever survived this situation. No surgery, boy won't survive tonight. Operable. Even a millimeter error, the boys will be paralyzed. But for the boy, surgery had to be done again. Everyone's nerves at the moment. It's all focused on the screwdriver in the doctor's hand. No. Still not working. So they had no choice but to perform a laminectomy. This creates more room for the spinal cord. Recombine.
Doesn't that mean he could end up a quadriplegic?
Not if I can help it. Rongiers.
Fortunately, Straight Life Doctor is experienced. The surgery went well. Under everyone's gaze, the boy's cervical spine is perfectly integrated. Soon the boy woke up. Mother was overjoyed.
None of this would have happened if you hadn't run away from me in the ER in the first place, right? You have to promise me you will never do that again, okay?
But I look at the boy. It seems that he didn't listen to his mother's words at all. However, such an amazing doctor, he turned around and was fired from the hospital. The reason is that he doesn't earn enough. Good at orthopedics, although he kept creating miracles for the hospital during the operation. Saved countless people from pain, but helpless. That's $2 million a year for the hospital. At the same time, in the emergency room on the other side, the third brother just announced the death of the man. Don't want the next second. The man miraculously Saturday up again.
Body bag.
Their children are only afraid of injections. I actually took advantage of my mother's shopping time to hide in the consultation room. No, just in time for the gas leak. Although the boy was treated immediately, but the doctor was surprised to find the boy at the moment can't move except for his eyes and mouth. He's unconscious from the neck down. It is speculated that the boy may have injured the cervical spine, but when the test results come out, everyone frenzy in place. Court revealed a dislocated occipital neck in the boy. The legendary internal beheading, the tremendous impact of the explosion, separated the boy's spine from the base of his skull. And what's even more desperate is, no one has ever survived this situation. No surgery, boy won't survive tonight. Operable. Even a millimeter error, the boys will be paralyzed. But for the boy, surgery had to be done again. Everyone's nerves at the moment, it's all focused on the screwdriver in the doctor's hand. No. Still not working. So they had no choice but to perform a laminectomy. This creates more room for the spinal cord. Recombine.
Doesn't that mean he could end up a quadriplegic?
Not if I can help it. Bronchiers?
Fortunately, Straight Life Doctor is experienced. The surgery went well. Under everyone's gaze, the boy's cervical spine is perfectly integrated. Soon the boy woke up. Mother was overjoyed.
None of this would have happened if you hadn't run away from me in the ER in the first place, right? You have to promise me you will never do that again, okay?
But I look at the boy. It seems that he didn't listen to his mother's words at all. However, such an amazing doctor, he turned around and was fired from the hospital. The reason is that he doesn't earn enough. Good at orthopedics, although he kept creating miracles for the hospital during the operation. Saved countless people from pain, but helpless. That's $2 million a year for the hospital. At the same time, in the emergency room on the other side, the third brother just announced the death of the man. Don't want the next second. The man miraculously Saturday up again.
Body bag.
In the emergency room, the doctor is chatting. A car suddenly hit. But even more surprising is, the driver turned out to be a 9-year-old child.
Oh, he's in the back. He's frozen. We dug him out of the snow.
Only then did everyone see the man freezing into a popsicle in the back seat. Now the man has no pulse. Body temperature is only 22 degrees. But when everyone was in a hurry to rescue the man, the interns on the side stood up.
Depression stop. See, Dr. Prakash said it's good for us to practice our...
Little Heyman, I'm afraid this intern is not seriously ill. How can you say this in front of a child?
He's not dead. He's frozen.
But although people kept saying man's body temperature still rises too slowly, we have to rush to the operating room to circulate warm blood. Xiao Hei, who can be used as a resident doctor, there is no qualification to operate independently at all.
Austin, we need him.
But now it's snowing outside. The attending physician's Raptor is stranded in the road. It is still 5 kilometers away from the hospital. We have to walk to the hospital, but the patient can't wait. There is really no way for the Raptor to ask Xiao Hei to go on by himself. It's just a simple minor surgery after all. Soon the extracorporeal bypass was built. In the anxious waiting of the crowd, the patient's temperature rises rapidly.
We have a rhythm.
However, the crowd was not happy for long. The man's blood pressure is plummeting. Preliminary judgment is that the man has massive bleeding. You have to open your chest to stop the bleeding. It's too late to wait for the arrival of the Raptor. To save a man's life, Black decided to take the risk. However, just then, the third brother who happened to pass by was surprised to find interns waiting outside the operating room. Still waiting for the death of a man, came to practice the death declaration. The third brother is really helpless. That's a person, a father. At the same time, the little Black in the operating room was finally found. Bleeding point, skilled suture to stop the bleeding. Just then, the Raptor finally arrived at the hospital. Worried about the safety of the patient, he ran all the way and dragged all the way. Finally got to the emergency room.
The Raptor has arrived.
Don't want to be told the surgery is over. Only then did I learn of Xiao Hei's wonderful performance just now.
I love that. See, I told you. Yes. See, I told you. Yes.
I don't want everyone to just breathe a sigh of relief. The man who just came out of the operating room. There is a hot topic again. The temperature is already in the 40s. Just a few hours. Man's temperature goes from 22 degrees to 42 degrees. If you don't cool down quickly, God knows what will happen. So the next second, everybody started moving blood. Wrap the man in blood. In the expectation of everyone, the man's temperature finally dropped. Soon the night passed. The most crucial moment has arrived. Prolonged hypoxia is likely to cause brain damage in men. Soon the man woke up, luckily unconscious. Everything is fine. The family was reunited soon after. Thank you. Follow Long Jwing. Show you a different world. The twin sister, who was just born prematurely, was diagnosed with congenital heart malformation, but in the operating room. As soon as the doctor opened her chest, the next moment the power went out unexpectedly. According to hospital regulations, the surgery had to be stopped immediately. Otherwise, if something went wrong, everyone present would be held responsible. But if they closed her chest now, it would be like condemning the sister to death.
Is there anyone here who is more concerned with their career than saving Mabel's life? Quick show of hands.
Everyone looked at each other, their expressions revealing determination. Not a single person left. Although the hospital's backup generator quickly started. Due to years of neglect, the generator could only barely sustain for 40 minutes. They couldn't even finish a third of the surgery. Now they were truly racing against death. Every second felt especially precious. Meanwhile, The hospital outside was already in chaos. Once the hospital lost power completely and the ventilators were no longer functional, many critically ill patients would be in jeopardy. The immediate priority was to quickly transfer the critically ill patients to other hospitals, but this woman refused to leave. No matter what, she was the mother of the premature twins. Her newborn daughter was fighting for her life in the operating room. How could she leave so easily? The third brother objected, saying that a woman could use a portable oxygen tank, and insisted on giving the spot to the other side, where the patient who had been unconscious due to a car accident.
Belle will lose his mind. That Barb coma has already billed $250,000.
But at a time like this, who could spare a thought for that? Seeing the determination of the third brother and his assurance to take responsibility, the nurse reluctantly left. As every second passed, the hospital's generator finally gave out, plunging the entire operating room into darkness. But then, dozens of flashlights lit up, illuminating the path for the baby girl to survive. With the extracorporeal circulation machine unusable, a nurse manually supported the baby. With everyone's help, the baby girl eventually endured the surgery bravely. Meanwhile, the hospital finally restored power.
These babies should have won.
It was as if death was playing a cruel joke on everyone. At that moment, Little Black noticed his brother crying incessantly beside him. Their father explained that ever since their sister was taken into the operating room, their brother had been crying non-stop. Despite trying everything, they couldn't calm him down. It was then that Little Black had an idea.
They don't know an existence without the touch of the other.
Then, Little Black gently placed his sister beside his brother. Soon enough, a miracle occurred. The moment his brother's hand touched his sister, he finally stopped crying and soon drifted into a deep sleep. All the efforts of that night were worth it. But how could such a large hospital just shut down with a power outage?